Warning, dip tobacco is not a safer alternative to cigarettes, vape, nicotine, or any tobacco or nicotine product. If you are the age of 18 or under 18, we do not recommend that you dip, smoke, vape, or use any dip tobacco or any nicotine product. If you are the age of 21 or older, you can dip, smoke, vape, or use any dip tobacco or any nicotine product at your own risk. Mileage may vary if you are the age of 21 or older. We are not sponsored nor endorsed by any dip tobacco company that you may see or hear in this video today. If you got a dip, pack a lip. If not, I will be packing one here real soon with you guys and gals. Grizzly Long Cut Wintergreen, the king of all dips, because that's what we do around here, because we ain't no pussies. Plastic lids versus tin lids. I've been asked to do this video. Somebody asked me to do this video kindly, and I had decided that I will do it because this video comes from a dipper that watches one of my videos, and he asked me what's the difference between the plastic lids and the tin lids, and what makes the tin lids a little bit more special than the plastic lids. Well, so this one for you, bud. So here we go. So the tin lids are basically just made of tin. They're a little bit stronger in strength. The plastics are plastic, weaker. They're not going to have a lot of strength. They're going to be kind of weaker in strength in general. Also, another thing to keep into consideration is that they are in differences with how they help keep the flavor in the dip. So, for instance, we all know, like, Longhorn. Yeah, sorry, I have to do it. Longhorn. Longhorn uses plastic lids. Basically, because they are a cheaper brand, they more than likely are going to go the cheaper route. Grizzly, a little bit more expensive. They're going to go the higher route. They're going to go where they're going to have the tin lids because they want, you know, people to be able to put it into either their back pockets, or if the dip can falls or gets stomped on a little, or in the refrigerator, it can handle this kind of stuff. This is made for it. These dip cans are made to handle a little bit of this abuse, which is what typically the cans are not really typically made for, because they're not really made to be abused, like throw them across the room or throw them on the ground hard. But they can handle a little bitty bit of abuse. Blah, blah. Say that 5 times fast. But they can handle a little bit of abuse. Cheers, y'all. But the little bit of abuse that they can handle, it's supposed to help. And it's supposed to help also so that nothing gets really into your dip, which is nice. I don't want crap floating in my dip. Yeah, I don't want to be eating bugs or dipping bugs. Hey, look, I found a beetle. Wonder what that would taste like if I dipped that. Yeah, you'd be ending up doing that. So don't do that. So what do I mean by when I say put it in the freezer and stuff and keep the flavor? So when I'm talking about like putting it in the freezer, so let's say like this is a new can right here, right? Uncracked. So the flavor and the moisture and stuff inside this can will continue to stay a lot longer, a lot fresher. It helps keep it fresher, longer lasting, and that tin lid, in my opinion, gives it that more ability to help keep it that way, because the tin lid is tin, which it does keep, you know, it does take a little bit of that frozen. It does get cold a little bit. So when it kind of gets a little bit cold, then the dip will get cold, and it will help keep that dip cold, so that all that flavor inside that dip, that little bitty can of dip, is going to stay there. It's not going to be lost. With plastic cans, typically they can have the same thing where, yes, they will kind of help with keeping flavors there, but again, in my opinion, and from what I've kind of noticed with plastic cans, they don't do very good with that. It doesn't work very well, because the plastic, unlike the tin, it's not going to absorb the cold, and it won't get cold as much as like the tin would, so it's not going to help keep that can as cold. It will just, the can will be cold, but not as cold as like with a tin lid. Tin lid makes it colder, or as cold. See what I'm saying? It works to where that when the tin is cold, the tin lid is cold, it makes the top cold. So the can, all around the can is also cold, but the top is cold as well. So that's nice, but it's even nicer because the top is cold, so nothing's going to get lost. And it's going to keep everything nice, cold, and fresh. But with the plastic, it won't do that, because the plastic really can't absorb that coldness. That's why plastic really will never do that for you. And that's why, again, I say plastic really will never ever be as good as tin, because tin always has a lot of good things going for it. I like the tin lids. The other thing I like about tin is when you're packing, oh yeah, that sound is just it's so beautiful. Plastic lids, it's just no. I just want to smack that can out of somebody's hand. It's annoying. I'm sorry. It's annoying as hell. Tin lids have a 10 times better sound to it than plastic. The repercussion, the kind of, the sound to it, especially like if you throw it across the room, like that, you can hear it. You can hear the sound to it. It's got a sound to it. A little bit of echo and reverb. I like that in a can, because to me it's just music to my ears. I've always loved and appreciated a tin can that always just has like that full can of dip in it, and that's always been full, and that always will, you know, be just music to my ears. I appreciate it more than the plastic lid. Plastic lids are just one of those things where I don't like it. Another thing that I've noticed with tin lids is that they will keep your dip inside your can a lot more than plastic lids. This is another thing that a lot of people don't think about, is that when you can like shake it as hard as you want, tin lids, if you got your tin lid on correctly, as much as you want, you could shake it and it won't go. Sometimes plastic lids happen to just snap open and your dip will just go fly everywhere. And you don't want that dip to fly everywhere. And that's another problem that I have had sometimes with plastic lids, is that the tin lid is a lot harder to open because they're like airtight sealed, which is okay. But with plastic lids, not plastic, on the last one, tin lids, they're like airtight sealed. Some people don't like that. I prefer it. But plastic, they open a lot easier. And I think a lot of people hate that too. So it's kind of a balance between, what do you want? Do you want your dip to fly out? Or do you want your dip to stay in? I prefer my dip to stay in, mostly. And that's another thing that I choose, because I like tin lids over plastic lids, is that they really do a good job at being airtight sealed, almost. Again, they're not waterproof and they're not rainproof, so your dip can get wet. That is a bad thing. Make sure that you do know that, like, keep your dip out of the rain, out of the water. Check your pants before you throw them in the wash, because, yeah, they're not going to be waterproof at all. Plastic is not going to be the same thing. Another thing about when it comes to plastic and tin lids that I enjoy the most about these things is that when it comes to tin lids, the tin just look a little bit nicer on the can in general. For me, I think it looks way nicer. It gives the cans kind of a better look. Sorry. I think not only just a better look, but it just makes it really nice for the can in general. The cans don't look as ugly and look as cheap. It makes it look like the company is actually trying to do something. Like they care about the dip quality and the dip can quality both in general. And that means that they care and it matters to them. And that they care a lot about the consumers too. And it tells me that when I look at this can that I'm got over here, sitting right here in front of me, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, gosh, you know, they love the consumers, because they know that the consumers are probably blue collared. They know that a lot of the consumers are going to be putting this in their back pocket. They know that this can's going to go through a lot. They know that they want something that can last a little bit longer. They know what this can's going to probably go through, and they care about the quality of the can, and that shows a lot more than the plastic lids. The plastic lids, they just feels more like it's fake. Like they're trying to just throw it together and give you a product that they just really don't care about, and not only not care about in general, but they just kind of half-assed it, and they just wanted to throw it together and just put it out there and sell. Which, I mean, fine if they did. If that was their intention, then that's fine. Whatever, so be it. But I don't like it. I would rather have something that they were really trying hard to do and took a lot of time for, and that it made me feel like they really loved it and they liked the product and they cared about the consumers. So that's what I gotta say about it, you guys. So anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Love you guys.